I'm about to reveal something that might shock you, something that could be happening in your own home every single morning, silently putting stress on the most important organ in your body. I'm Dr. David Harrison, and after 23 years as a cardiac surgeon, I've seen perfectly healthy people rushed into my emergency room not because of a new disease, not because of genetics, but because of when they chose to exercise. These aren't people who were reckless or ignored their health. I'm talking about dedicated individuals who woke up early, laced up their sneakers, and went for a jog thinking they were doing the right thing. The retiree who walked his dog at dawn. The grandmother who did her stretches before sunrise. The fitness enthusiast who hit the gym the moment it opened. What I'm about to share challenges everything you've been told about healthy morning routines. The fitness industry doesn't emphasize this. Most doctors don't mention it because the connection isn't always obvious, but I've witnessed it firsthand, patient after patient, heart after heart, and I cannot remain silent any longer. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which exercise timing mistakes are secretly straining your cardiovascular system, why your body is most vulnerable during specific windows of the day, and most importantly, how to exercise safely so you can protect your heart for years to come. This isn't about scaring you away from exercise. Physical activity is one of the greatest gifts you can give your heart. This is about exercising smarter, not harder. Stay with me because what you're about to learn could genuinely save your life. Let's begin with the timing mistake that catches almost everyone off guard: exercising within the first hour after waking up. Now, before you dismiss this, hear me out. I'm not saying morning exercise is bad. In fact, research shows that late morning activity, between 8 and 11 in the morning, is associated with the lowest cardiovascular risk. But there's a critical difference between exercising in the late morning and jumping into intense physical activity the moment your feet hit the floor. Your body follows something called a circadian rhythm, an internal 24-hour clock that regulates everything from hormone release to blood pressure to heart function. During the night, your cardiovascular system enters a recovery mode. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows, and your blood becomes thicker and more prone to clotting. This is completely normal and actually beneficial for rest, but here's where it gets dangerous. The moment you wake up, your body shifts into high alert. Cortisol, the stress hormone, surges through your system. Adrenaline spikes. Your blood pressure jumps sharply in what researchers call the morning blood pressure surge. Your heart rate accelerates, and that blood that thickened overnight doesn't instantly thin out. You're essentially waking up in a physiologically vulnerable state. Studies published in major cardiology journals have found that heart attacks peak between 6 and 10 in the morning. This isn't coincidence, it's biology. The cardiovascular system is simply more susceptible to stress during these hours. Let me tell you about Robert, a 71-year-old retired engineer who prided himself on discipline. Every morning at 5:30, his alarm rang, and by 5:40 he was out the door for a 3-mile run. Rain or shine, cold or hot, Robert never missed a day. He believed this routine was keeping him young. One December morning, just 15 minutes into his run, Robert felt a crushing pressure in his chest. His left arm went numb. He barely made it back home before collapsing in his driveway. His wife found him and called emergency services. When Robert arrived at the hospital, we discovered he was having a massive heart attack. His coronary arteries, already narrowed by plaque he didn't know existed, had been pushed to their limit by the combination of cold air, sudden exertion, and his body's natural morning vulnerability. The blood clot formed precisely when his system was least equipped to handle it. Robert survived, but he lost significant heart function. When I spoke with him during recovery, he was devastated. He thought he was doing everything right. The truth is, his timing was working against him. How can something as healthy as exercise become dangerous? The mechanism involves multiple factors converging at the worst possible moment. First, when you wake up and immediately start exercising, you're demanding maximum output from a cardiovascular system that's still transitioning from sleep mode. Your blood vessels haven't fully dilated yet. Your heart hasn't gradually ramped up. Instead of a smooth acceleration, you're slamming the gas pedal on a cold engine. Second, that morning blood pressure surge I mentioned can be extreme in some individuals. Research from the European Heart Journal shows that people with exaggerated morning surges have significantly higher risks of stroke and heart attack. When you add intense exercise on top of an already elevated baseline, blood pressure can spike to dangerous levels. Third, your blood is stickier in the morning. The proteins that cause clotting are more active, while the mechanisms that dissolve clots are suppressed. If you have any narrowing in your coronary arteries, even mild narrowing you're unaware of, this is the perfect storm for a blockage to form. The solution isn't to abandon morning exercise, it's to respect your body's transition period. Give yourself at least 60 to 90 minutes after waking before engaging in moderate to vigorous activity. During that window, let your body naturally adjust. Have your coffee or tea, eat a light breakfast, move around gently. Let your cardiovascular system come online gradually. If you absolutely must exercise early, start with at least 15 to 20 minutes of very light warm-up. Walking at a conversational pace, gentle stretching, nothing that elevates your heart rate significantly until your body has had time to prepare. And if you're over 65 or have any history of heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes, this buffer period becomes even more critical. Now we move to the second timing mistake, and this one is particularly insidious because it feels like you're being efficient. I'm talking about exercising immediately after eating a large meal. You finish a substantial breakfast or lunch, you feel energized from the food, and you think it's the perfect time to burn those calories. But your body is fighting a war on two fronts, and your heart is caught in the middle. Let me share the story of Patricia, a 68-year-old grandmother who loved Sunday family brunches. After one particularly hearty meal with her grandchildren, she decided to go for a power walk to work off the pancakes and eggs. About 20 minutes in, she felt lightheaded and nauseated. Her heart was racing erratically. She sat down on a park bench and the palpitations continued. Her daughter drove her to urgent care where an electrocardiogram revealed she had experienced a significant arrhythmia. Patricia had no prior heart problems. What happened was a classic case of cardiovascular competition. Here's the physiology behind this danger. When you eat, especially a large meal, your digestive system demands enormous blood flow. Your stomach, intestines, and liver need oxygen and nutrients to process that food. Your body responds by redirecting blood away from other areas and toward your gut. This is why you feel sleepy after a big meal. Your brain is getting slightly less blood flow. Now imagine starting vigorous exercise during this process. Your muscles suddenly demand their own massive blood supply. Your heart has to work overtime trying to serve two masters simultaneously. Blood pressure fluctuates unpredictably. The heart rate becomes irregular as your body struggles to prioritize. For a young, healthy heart, this is merely uncomfortable. For an aging heart or one with underlying issues, this competition can trigger arrhythmias, chest pain, or in severe cases, cardiac events. Additionally, exercising on a full stomach can cause sharp drops in blood pressure when you stop, as blood pools in both your digestive system and your tired muscles. This can lead to fainting and falls, which are particularly dangerous for seniors. The golden rule is simple. Wait at least 90 minutes to 2 hours after a substantial meal before exercising. For a light snack, 30 to 60 minutes is usually sufficient. If you prefer exercising in the morning, eat a small, easily digestible snack rather than a full breakfast beforehand. A banana, a small piece of toast, or a handful of nuts provides energy without overwhelming your digestive system. Listen to your body. If you feel heavy, bloated, or sluggish after eating, that's your body telling you it's focused on digestion, not exercise. Before we continue with the next critical timing mistakes, which involve environmental factors that millions of people ignore, I want to make a quick request. If what you've learned so far has been valuable, I'm asking for two simple things. First, subscribe to this channel. My mission is to provide clear, evidence-based health information that empowers you to make the best decisions for your well-being. Every subscriber helps this information reach more people who need it. Second, and perhaps even more important, share this video with someone you care about. Think about your spouse, your parents, your friends who exercise in the morning. A simple share could start a conversation that genuinely saves a life. Thank you for your support. Let's continue with mistake number 3. We've reached a topic that few people consider when planning their exercise routine. Exercising in extreme temperatures, both hot and cold, without proper preparation. Your cardiovascular system doesn't just pump blood, it's also your body's primary temperature regulator. When external conditions push your internal thermostat too far, your heart pays the price. Let me tell you about George, a 74-year-old golf enthusiast from Arizona. During a summer heat wave with temperatures exceeding 105 degrees, George insisted on playing his usual 18 holes. He figured he'd been doing it for years and knew his limits. By the 14th hole, George was confused and stumbling. His playing partners noticed he had stopped sweating despite the brutal heat. That's a medical emergency sign called heat stroke. George's body had lost its ability to cool itself. His core temperature was dangerously elevated. When paramedics arrived, his blood pressure was unstable and his heart rhythm was chaotic. He required intensive care for 3 days. When you exercise in extreme heat, your body diverts massive amounts of blood to your skin to dissipate warmth through sweating and radiation. This means less blood volume returns to your heart. To compensate, your heart rate increases dramatically, sometimes adding 30 to 50 beats per minute above normal exercise levels. For an older heart with less flexibility and reserve capacity, this is exhausting and potentially destabilizing. Dehydration accelerates the problem by reducing overall blood volume. Your blood becomes thicker, harder to pump, and more prone to clotting. The electrolytes you lose through sweat, particularly potassium and magnesium, are essential for maintaining normal heart rhythm. When they're depleted, arrhythmias become much more likely. Cold weather presents different but equally serious dangers. When you exercise in cold air, your blood vessels constrict to preserve core body heat. This constriction dramatically increases the resistance your heart pumps against. Blood pressure spikes. For someone with already stiff arteries or underlying coronary disease, this sudden increase in workload can push the system past its limits. Remember Robert, who had his heart attack during his winter morning run? The cold air was a significant contributing factor. Cold air also irritates airways, triggering responses that can stress the cardiovascular system further. And here's something many people don't realize. Cold temperatures can mask warning signs. Chest tightness from cardiac strain can be mistaken for the normal sensation of breathing cold air. What should you do? In hot weather, exercise during the coolest parts of the day, typically early morning or evening. Stay aggressively hydrated, starting well before your workout. Reduce your intensity significantly when temperatures exceed 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Wear light, breathable clothing. And most importantly, know the warning signs of heat exhaustion, dizziness, excessive fatigue, headache, nausea, and confusion. In cold weather, dress in layers that you can remove as your body warms up. Cover your mouth with a scarf or mask to warm the air before it hits your lungs. Give yourself an even longer warm-up period than usual. And avoid exercising outdoors when temperatures drop below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, especially if you have any heart history. Consider indoor alternatives during weather extremes. A treadmill in a climate-controlled gym provides the same benefits without the environmental stress. We arrive at the 4th timing mistake, one that involves something you might think is actually healthy: exercising while fasting or severely dehydrated. The intermittent fasting trend has exploded in popularity, and many people combine fasting with morning exercise, believing it maximizes fat burning. While there may be benefits to exercising in a fasted state for some younger individuals, for seniors, this combination can be genuinely dangerous. Eleanor, a 70-year-old retired nurse, had adopted intermittent fasting after reading about its benefits online. She restricted her eating to an 8-hour window and exercised every morning before breaking her fast. She was losing weight and felt proud of her discipline. One morning during her usual cycling class, Eleanor's vision went gray around the edges. Her heart was pounding irregularly. She managed to get off the bike before fainting completely. In the emergency room, we found her blood sugar was dangerously low and she was significantly dehydrated. Her heart had been struggling to maintain adequate output with depleted fuel and reduced blood volume. Here's what happens physiologically. After an overnight fast, your blood sugar is at its lowest point. Your liver's glycogen stores are partially depleted. Your body has been losing water all night through breathing and sweating, even in cool environments. You wake up already in a mild deficit. Now you skip breakfast and water, then demand intense physical output from your body. Your muscles need glucose for fuel. When it's not readily available, your body must work harder to mobilize energy from fat stores, a slower and more demanding process. Meanwhile, your heart is trying to circulate blood that has become thicker from dehydration. Every beat requires more effort. Blood pressure can become unstable, swinging from too low when standing to spikes during exertion. For seniors whose regulatory mechanisms are less responsive, this instability can trigger fainting, falls, arrhythmias, or cardiac events. If you practice intermittent fasting and enjoy it, that's fine, but adjust your exercise timing accordingly. Work out during your eating window when you're properly fueled and hydrated. If you prefer morning exercise, at minimum have a glass of water and a small snack before starting. Even just 100 calories of easily digestible carbohydrates can provide enough fuel to exercise safely. Hydration is non-negotiable. Drink at least 8 ounces of water within 15 minutes of waking, more if you're going to exercise. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. By the time thirst registers, you're already significantly dehydrated. For seniors, that delay can mean the difference between a safe workout and a dangerous one. We arrive at the fifth and final timing mistake, and this one cuts to the heart of how we think about exercise itself. Pushing through exercise when your body is already sending warning signals. I've lost count of how many patients have told me they felt something was wrong during their workout but pushed through it anyway. They interpreted warning signs as weakness to be overcome. They didn't want to seem soft or out of shape. This mentality, while admirable in some contexts, can be deadly when applied to exercise after age 60. Let me tell you about William, a 76-year-old former military officer who approached fitness like a mission. During a tennis match with his grandson, William felt unusual shortness of breath and a strange pressure in his jaw. Old military instincts kicked in. He ignored it and kept playing. He won the match, but collapsed in the parking lot afterward. By the time he reached the hospital, the heart attack had been progressing for over an hour. The damage was extensive. William spent 2 weeks in the cardiac intensive care unit. When I asked him why he didn't stop when he felt symptoms, he said he thought it was just normal fatigue from a competitive game. He didn't want his grandson to think he couldn't keep up. This breaks my heart because it was entirely preventable. The warning signs were clear. Unusual shortness of breath beyond what the activity should cause. Chest discomfort, pressure, or pain, even if it's not severe. Pain radiating to the jaw, neck, shoulders, or arms. Sudden dizziness or lightheadedness. Excessive sweating unrelated to temperature. Irregular heartbeat or palpitations. Extreme fatigue that feels different from normal tiredness. Any of these symptoms during exercise should trigger an immediate stop. Not a gradual cool down, a complete stop. Sit or lie down. If symptoms persist beyond a few minutes or worsen, call emergency services. The golden hour after a heart attack begins is critical. Every minute of delay in treatment means more heart muscle dies. Your body has sophisticated warning systems designed to protect you. The problem is that we've been culturally conditioned to override them. No pain, no gain. Push through the wall, mind over matter. These slogans might work for a 25-year-old athlete, but they can kill a senior. Your heart has been working for you every second of every day for 60, 70, 80 years. It has earned the right to be listened to. When it tells you something is wrong, that message deserves your immediate attention. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Today, we've uncovered 5 critical timing mistakes that can turn healthy exercise into a cardiac risk. Exercising within the first hour of waking when your cardiovascular system is most vulnerable. Working out immediately after large meals when your body is fighting competing demands. Pushing through extreme temperatures without proper preparation. exercising while fasted or dehydrated with depleted reserves, and ignoring your body's warning signals during physical activity. My message is not to stop exercising. That would be the worst possible advice. Regular physical activity remains one of the most powerful protections for your heart. Research consistently shows that active seniors have dramatically lower rates of heart disease, stroke, and premature death. My message is to exercise intelligently. Understand your body's rhythms and vulnerabilities. Give yourself time to transition from sleep to activity. Stay properly fueled and hydrated. Respect environmental conditions. And always listen when your body speaks. The next time you plan your workout, think about timing, not just duration or intensity. Ask yourself if you've given your body adequate time to wake up. Consider whether you're properly fueled and hydrated. Check the weather conditions, and promise yourself that you'll stop immediately if anything feels wrong. Have a conversation with your doctor about your exercise routine. Ask specifically whether your current timing and intensity are appropriate for your individual health status. Bring up any symptoms you've experienced during workouts, even if they seemed minor. Your physician can help you design an exercise plan that maximizes benefits while minimizing risks. Your heart has been your faithful companion through every moment of your life. It beats roughly 100,000 times every day without you asking it to. It has adapted to stress, recovered from challenges, and kept you alive through everything. Now it's your turn to be a good partner to your heart. Exercise remains the greatest gift you can give your cardiovascular system, but like any gift, it needs to be given thoughtfully and at the right time. Share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever felt something unusual during exercise? Did this information change how you think about your workout routine? Your stories can help others recognize risks they might be overlooking. And please, share this video with the people you love. That friend who insists on running at 5 in the morning. That family member who exercises through any weather condition. A simple share might be the wake-up call that protects someone's heart. Remember, the goal isn't just to exercise. The goal is to exercise for many more years to come. Take care of your heart, and it will take care of you.